back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is JoAnne and I'm an online voice teacher. I primarily work with musical theater singers and I am really passionate about vocal health. I take a holistic approach to voice teaching that includes mindset work, physical health, as well as vocal health because they all affect your singing. And I'm really excited to be here today to do another reaction video for you. If you are interested in voice lessons, there is a link to join the waitlist down below, so be sure to go click on that. And today's video is actually a request. So I reacted a few months ago to Sabrina Carpenter's song Skin, and I reacted to the lyric video, so just a recording of the song, but I had several comments on it asking me to react to the live performance that she did on James Corden. And so that's what I'm gonna do today. And I'm really excited because I love this song. This has been one of my favorite songs that has come out so far in 2021. And I think it's just phenomenal. So without further ado, let's jump in and listen.
Maybe we could have been friends if I met you in another life. Maybe then we could pretend there's no gravity in the words we write. Maybe you didn't mean it. Maybe blowing was the only rhyme, the only rhyme.
Like I said before, she has this gorgeous, this verse is low. That's starting down on an A3. And the fact that she's able to keep it that light and give that level of airiness to it being that low that's really challenging. And she does it beautifully. She did it beautifully on the recording. She does it, I think, even more beautifully right here. You can hear the warmth in her voice and it's just spectacular. Like, truly what she just did there is not easy to do in that part of your voice because it is sitting below the primo passaggio. So little voice science for you if you are looking at the female voice. The male voice has 2 passaggi points too, but we're going to be talking primarily about the female voice. So these passaggi points are transitions. We have the primo passaggio. Passaggio is Italian for basically passage, and it's sitting between like C#4 and F4 technically is the range that this passaggi point is sitting, and that's your transition from chest voice into middle voice. And this is below that, which means that functionally it has to be in chest voice. And so in order for her to have that breathy quality there, she's having to create some lightness and bring down some more of that head voice lower than it naturally wants to go, and that's not easy to do. And so the fact that she's able to bring that kind of color to this part of her voice is really incredible. And just so you know, the second passaggi point is an octave higher, and so that's C#5 to F5, and that is where you're transitioning from middle voice into head voice. And when we're talking about musical theater, these passaggi points do matter. We kind of look at transitions a little bit differently in musical theater, but this is the structure for classical, which is the most researched, most foundational vocal pedagogy that does exist. And so everything that we're looking at comes from that foundation ultimately. So I hope you enjoyed that little voice science, vocal pedagogy, passaggio lesson, because the passaggi are very important. So let's keep going.
Want my heart to be breaking, no. I'm happy and you hate it, oh. And I'm not asking you to let it go, but you've been telling your side, so I'll be telling mine. You can try to get under my skin while he's on mine. Yeah, under my skin. I wish you knew that even you can't get under my skin if I don't let you in.
This sounds gorgeous. We hear a lot more chest voice in this. She's letting that head voice come in at the very top of the chorus, where she's just basically backing off the anchor, but she still is keeping that more breathy quality to it. She's feeding a little bit more air through the phrase. Fantastic. And it's really, really, really common to do that in pop music. And the thing that I'm noticing right here that's very different from the recording, first of all, she changed the melody a little bit in a few places, which is her song, so she can do that. But also, she's using less nasal resonance in this performance than she did on the recording. And that might have been mixing. That might have been what I was hearing, because realize when we are listening to anything that is pre-recorded and edited, we are not only listening to the recorded performance, we are listening to a billion different takes. Well, not a billion, that's gross exaggeration, but a lot of different takes that are all compiled together to make the best track. And then we are listening to mixing on top of that, and there's a lot that they can do to change the sound of the band and change the sound of the voice a little bit and add different effects. And that's not a bad thing. That's just what happens in recording. And so live performances, we are listening to the voice in a different way. And so we can hear a little bit more of what she's doing from a technique basis. She's also very, very relaxed. You can see that she's sitting here playing the piano. She's extremely relaxed. She doesn't have tons and tons of space in her mouth, but her jaw is free. It's mobile. So she's not over opening. She's not opening to an intense degree, but she's not clenching her jaw either. She has space. Let's keep listening. This is a really, really, really good performance so far.
You're telling it how you see it. The truth is whatever you decide. Some people will believe it, and some will read in between the lines. You're putting me in the spotlight, but I've been under it all my life. Said all my life, want my heart to be breaking, breaking. No, I'm happy and you hate it, hate it. Oh, and I'm not asking you to let go, but you would tell aside, so I'll be telling mine,
So good. So she stood up. As it gets a little bit bigger, again, we hear more chest voice, and she's singing a little bit louder, and now she starts belting. And this is a B4, so this is pretty high in her chest voice. This is a really solid belt, and when she belts, her mouth opens more. If you haven't heard me say this before, the trick to singing higher, always, 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 this is one of my few things that is always, always, always true. When you are singing higher, whether you are singing in your head voice, whether you are trying to stay in your chest voice belting, whether you are doing a mix belt, or whatever you are, or just straight up singing in your mix, whatever you are doing, when you sing higher, you need more space and more air. Always, 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 100% of the time. If it's not doing what you want, those are the first two things that you need to check. After that, we could talk about some other stuff, because there are other things that could affect the sound, but across the board, the two things that you always, 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 always need as you are singing higher is more space and more air. You don't need the same amount of space for like an E as you do for a high C, but you still need more space for an E than you do for the G below that. So, space, air, high notes, always. She's doing this greatly. She's belting a beat, and she's staying in chest voice, which is pretty high in chest voice. The healthiest that you can technically take chest voice from a scientific perspective is technically that C sharp 5, so like a whole step above what she's singing, so not very far away. When we're talking about chest belt, typically we're looking up to a D5. These are just what the science says. This is not the hard and fast rule that you're going to hear all the time in singing, but she's pretty high in her chest voice right now. She's staying in her chest voice, and so that space is what's making it possible, and her air. And you can tell she's very anchored in her body. She's very engaged. Her knees are bent. She's got really good posture. Yeah, you can literally tell it looking at her stance. So she's belting, but she's still switching up to her head voice a few times. Her transitions are seamless and just gorgeous. What she's doing to make those happen is she's just like backing off. She's just kind of letting go, and it's shifting up naturally because it's what her voice wants to do.
all night. Yeah, all of my skin. I wish you knew that even you can't get under my skin if I don't let you in. I just hope that one day we both can laugh about it when it's not in our face. Won't let you dance around it. Don't drive yourself insane. It won't always be this way. You can try to get under my
And now she's going back to the piano. I love it.
skin while he's on mine. Yeah, all of my skin. I wish you knew that even you can't get under my skin if I don't let you in.
Gorgeous at the end there. Again, she's really light, breathy head voice. It's really light and quiet. She's not pushing volume ever. Even when she's belting and in those bigger moments, she's not pushing her volume. She's not trying to be louder or to like prove that she can be heard or anything like that. She's just present, and it's enough. And it's gorgeous, and I love this performance. I love this song. So good. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see more videos like this, hit like and subscribe, and comment down below if there are any videos that you want to see me react to. And I love this video. I'm excited to make more for you. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time.